You're Sperp back with another video, and I just got done finishing up the first season of Japanese Tales of the Macabre. I remember seeing something similar to this name. I don't know if it's the same person that did that back in Crunchyroll did this, but this is pretty much a horror anthology anime that's streaming on Netflix right now. It's like 12 episodes, and every episode kind of varies. They're all like 20 something minutes long, but sometimes you'll have two stories in one because it's the description's like it's 20 tales. The first one was interesting. It gave off like an Addams Family type of vibe. You know, you had this family of siblings missing their parents and wanting to do a seance. Then episode 2 is where we get two stories. One that is called The Story of the Mystery Tunnel, where this kind of is a blend of like sci-fi and horror, but then Ice Cream is straight up horror. It's just unfortunate that that was the shortest story out of the two. I kind of wish we got like a full episode of the ice cream bus. That was really dope, and I thought it was interesting how they did the violence. Then we get another episode where we get two different stories. 4x4 walls, which I wasn't the biggest fan of, and then I really like Sandman's Lair, where you had this like interdimensional type of being, and you know, he had a certain amount of time before something this person took over. It was almost giving me like Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger vibes, but I enjoyed that episode for the most part. Hanging Balloon, though, is definitely one of my favorite. You have just imagine an apocalypse where you just see a bunch of floating heads of your dead loved ones or possibly you, and the string is like a noose and it's going around just hanging people. It's just crazy, bro. This was definitely one of the most creative stories that they have. I thought it was pretty damn creepy. Then we get The Intruder and Long Hair in the Attic. Intruder was cool. This was another one of those like, oh, it's just like a doppelganger and they're coming from a different dimension. They mentioned like the Bermuda Triangle a little bit, but I think Long Hair in the Attic was the stronger story out of these two for me. You know, you had this girl go on a date and then all of a sudden like her hair kind of goes crazy and has a mind of its own. Then we have The Mold and Library Vision, where this is, I think, episode 5. This somewhat kind of took me out of it a little bit. Like, I appreciate Mold being in black and white. It was the only story that was in black and white. And if you're like kind of a germaphobe, this could probably bother you, but kind of just went over my head. Same with Library Vision, even though I kind of understood that a little bit more and kind of give it more credit for being a little bit more creative. Town, this is where things really start to kick up. I really enjoyed the second half of this season, more so than the first half. Toontown is literally anywhere you die, a tombstone will pop up, and it almost gave me like I Know What You Did Last Summer vibes, where they're just heading into town and they accidentally kill somebody and everybody's trying to find out this missing person, and it just goes really crazy. Then the next episode, we have Layers of Terror and that thing that drifted ashore. Layers of Terror, I think, is my favorite, though, now that I think about it, because it's like this chick that has, or this curse, they name it as, and it's just this person with multiple layers of skin, and it's so wild, bro. I thought that was very, very creative, and yeah. And the other one, that mostly had to do with the sea. Tomi Photo, this was really interesting as well. It had a really bizarre, abrupt kind of ending, but you had this like popular girl in this photo club, and this one chick was trying to get the best of her, took a picture of her, and there's just something attached to her, so then it ends up becoming like a witch hunt for this girl, and people are out to get her, out to try to kill her. That was intense. Like I said, they still just keep hitting you over the head with these dope stories. Then the Inevitable Labyrinth, Endurable Labyrinth, and The Bully. I like The Bully more than Labyrinth, even though that was kind of like some religious cults mixed with other things and kind of messing with people's phobias and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that will trigger certain things out of people in this series. Then The Alley was really interesting, where you had this chick had this story where she killed a bunch of people in this alley. Then The Hellish Statue was really trippy, man. I that's why I say I really liked them ramping up the gore, and even the animation style was getting better at this point. Lastly, we have The Whispering Woman and Soichi's beloved pet, which I wasn't the biggest fan of the last story that they gave us, but I do like how some of these stories tie in with one another, or they just hint at certain things. So hopefully the shorter stories kind of get a part 2 or a continuation if they do a season 2. Overall, I really enjoyed this series. It was a lot of fun. There were some stories that just completely went over my head, but that's fine. I still give this first season an E for effort, because like they really gave you something different and creative with each individual story, and each individual story had a very dark ending to certain characters. So let me know how you guys feel about this if you have seen this yet. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.